and
We got about 10
Zeus.
minutes, and we're gonna wrap
Okay.
this thing up with a 10 minutes of Tana Donut talk with my guy, the one and only, the content king for Arizona State, the one and only DevilsDigest.com. Hold Rubino, holler at your boy. What's going on?
What up? What up?
No, see, what up, Hode? First of all, Chili, no. We're not going to talk about Camp T because we had news today. We had news that we
Oh
all
man,
expected.
okay.
I don't know if we knew it was coming, Hode, right? Kenny Dillingham narrowed it down to two quarterbacks: Cutter Boley,
Oh, we
Mikey
knew, we knew,
Keene. We knew. Your thoughts
we knew.
on what Kenny said today and the competition so far?
Yeah, like I said, Cam. I mean, there really wasn't any big shocker at all to have those two veterans set themselves apart from the other two quarterbacks. I really think it still is Cutter Bowley's position to lose. I thought that even when Paul Camp started, nothing I've seen until now would make me change my mind. So I would expect by the end of the week at the latest that Cutter Bowley is going to be named the starter. But I think the coaches still want to see a little more from Mikey Keene. Still want to see from Cutter Bowley if he can be consistent in his performance. But I would be very surprised if Cutter Bowley is not going to be named the starter sooner rather than later.
Are you
Keen has
impressed
looked
with Cutter?
incredible, though.
Are you
Go
impressed with
ahead.
Cutter, Hode?
Yeah, I really am. I think that he's somebody that does take care of the ball. Kenny Dillingham said himself, he only had three interceptions all throughout fall camp, and one of them is because a wide receiver cramped mid route, and that's why the interception happened. But I do like his quick release. I do like his decision making. I do like his athleticism. Cam, you were with me there on Saturday, 6'5" and all. The guy has wheels, and that is
Yeah. All
something
of a
that
sudden, he started picking up those legs fast, and I was like, oh, okay, gallop there,
exactly.
buddy. Yeah, he was
Exactly.
doing.
We're getting some Brock Osweiler flashbacks there. But I feel that he does really have a lot of the qualities that Kenny Dillingham is looking in a quarterback. Don't forget that when Kenny Dillingham was at Oregon, he did recruit Cutter
Cutter
Boley.
Boley.
So it's not like he's some kind of mystery for Kenny Dillingham or anything like that. This is a quarterback that Kenny Dillingham did target once he knew Sam Levitt is not going to return. And I think so far, Cutter Boley is really repaying him with some good play. Started out spring practice on a slow note. There's no doubting that. But I thought the latter half of spring practice, we saw a lot of progress, and that continues in fall camp. So I definitely do like what I see from Cutter Boley. He is definitely not the lesser of all evils once he's going to be named the starting quarterback.
Hold. I do got a question though. Keen has looked incredible though. He's savvy, brings the experience, has that je ne sais quoi that you look for in a quarterback. Like, this is closer than people think.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Cutter Boley by a country mile. I would agree.
I don't think it's closer than people think, Chili.
I
I
think
don't,
it is.
I like I wish it was because that's how much I think of Mikey. But Cutter Boley is here for a reason. And
Yeah, look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Mikey Keene has been awful at fall camp or
no, he's yeah.
mediocre at best. But I think Anaboli is really winning the job outright. I think the things that are really hurting Mikey Keene is even though he's a shorter quarterback, 5'11", his athleticism, his mobility is not really at a high level. And I feel, that when you're a quarterback of that stature, like Noah Fafita, for example, you need to have some wheels on you. And when you don't, that really by default makes you even more of a pocket quarterback, even more of a signal caller that really can't throw off platform. If you're 6'5", maybe he can get away with that. And then Cutter Boley is plenty athletic, so he can get out of the pocket and make plays. But I think we know when you at the stature of Mikey Keene, and you're not really that athletic, and your arm strength is not as good as the other quarterbacks. I think ultimately those are traits that are hurting Mikey Keene's chances winning the starting job. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think anybody's going to shed a tear or be in panic mode if Mikey Keene's going to be entering the game. It's just that the game plan then is going to be
A little
more
different.
tailored, yeah, to what Mikey Keene can do. It's going to look different from what they're expecting Cutter Boley to do when he's behind center. But again, I do feel like Cutter Boley did win this job fair and square.
All right, with that wide receiving core that they got over there, with my guy Raiden, with Amarion, all those guys over there. If this is first to 40 wins, ASU's absolutely running the table. Talk to me about how good this wide receiving core really is, because I talked to Jalen Strong, and he told me that Arizona State is in fact wide receiver U.
Yeah, I know Johnny Strong obviously has a lot of credibility, so I would listen to what he has to say. But yeah, I think throughout fall camp, we saw Marion Miller, we saw Reed Harris. Reed Harris being a very physical target
Yeah.
out there. Raiden Vines Bright, even for a slot receiver, they have a guy 6'1", 6'2". The stature of Raiden Vines Bright, that's something really impressive. But look, at the same time, you can't forget about the reserves, because I think guys like Jaron Hamilton, Jalen Moss have really stepped up. Ryan Elms, you know him, Chili.
Yeah.
He has been he had a pretty good spring and fall camp. He's really to take it to the next level. Tristan Bacon, by the way, another local guy that I'm just seeing as a linebacker, a guy that I'm seeing just for the same trajectory. This first year, last year was trying to fill things out, having a solid spring and fall camp are really taking off. But yeah, I think the wide receiver group is definitely a very, very impressive group. Still have a guy like Derek Eusebio trying to get back from injury. Michael Butter Tollefson doesn't get that many chances, but when he does, he really maximizes each and every opportunity. So I really do like the wide receiver group that the ASU has, and I almost feel like it doesn't even matter who's going to be behind center, because you got so many capable weapons around you, and that is something that you didn't have last year. Was Jordan Tyson or bust?
Yeah, I want to see them do it in games. That's the
Sure.
biggest thing. I want to see them do it in games. A lot of talent, but I want to see the quarterback spread it around. We got about 4 minutes left. Chile, you got what? I had a quick question.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I know. People have been hounding me and asking me. Wednesday will probably be the first practice that I get out to. The defense, quality or question mark?
No,
what is
quality?
It really is quality.
Okay.
Cam and I can attest on Saturday. Sure, the offense wasn't that great at all in the red zone, but man, that defense does not make things easy on anybody. I just really love the depth at defensive line, linebackers, secondary is crazy deep, especially at safety and nickel. Even cornerbacks are starting to see a lot of depth. I've talked a lot to you guys about the talent evaluation skills of this staff. They really are next level. I mean, think about since Kenny Dillingham got hired, how many true whiffs, and I mean a true whiff, that this team had getting somebody out of the transfer portal.
Not many.
You really have to think long and hard. There's guys that just did not pan out at all. You think a guy was going to be a starter too deep and wasn't even a fourth team. That really doesn't happen. And basically, you had one starter, CJ Fight, another quasi starter, I guess, in Boogie Wilson coming back from last year's defense. And this side of the ball has not missed a beat. I have been so impressed. Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator, does a great job. He has a great staff around him. I've been really, really impressed with the defense. And I've been telling my subscribers, say, look, I'm not saying that you should be happy about what the offense achieved on Saturday at Camp D scrimmage, because obviously there were some sore spots, very uncharacteristic turnovers, very uncharacteristic penalties, both of them happening in the red zone. But ultimately, you have to give credit to the defense, because they were playing exceptional on Saturday. They've been playing exceptional all fall camp. This is a very, very special group. And I'm telling you right now, on August 17th, there's going to be one or two wins that you're going to look back at in the 2026 season and say, you know what? The offense wasn't that great, but defense brought it home. Defense secured it. And it happened a lot in 2024, by the way. Great as that, you had Cam Scadaboo, Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson, but that defense did bail out ASU on more than one occasion. So I'm really, really excited to see what this defense could do, and I think fans should be excited too.
Hode Rubino, Devil's Digest. We appreciate the time. Hode, listen, out the door, I know you broke the news today that the football facility will not be named after Chili. So his donation
gotta pay.
Yeah, it just didn't cut it. They looked at the check and they were like, you know what, Chili, we can do just Chili's Flight Club, or we could do this, I'm sorry, Chili. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, Hode, right? It just wasn't enough. So
I'm sure Chili one of these days is going to give it to a worthy cause. That's going to have a warm part in our heart. It's not going to be a lot of bells and whistles. Just something small, but something meaningful.
Man, see, Hode and I are on the same page. Hode Rubino, appreciate the time, buddy. Good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Ho would always be hating on me though, so it's all
No,
good.
he's not